next to each other and you put the problem out here? What if you put it out here so you both could work on solving the problem? This is a couple who's going to have issues and pretty much is on the path to separation. This is a couple who is going to get closer to each other, work with each other, and be able to solve more problems and have progress. This couple, where the problem's between them and they're blaming each other, they're going to be upset, they're going to be mad, they're going to be stressed, they're going to feel alone, they're going to feel distant. This couple right here, they're going to talk, they're going to share, they're going to brainstorm.
So you know what's really interesting about the example that the gentleman just outlined? Blame is like an ad hominem attack, where you attack the person instead of the point. So when we're in a relationship blaming each other, it's your fault because you're lazy. It's your fault because, you know, you can't do nothing without my help anyway. You should have came to me. Again, he said, put the couple side by side and the problem out here. Wherever out here is, it might be in front of them. If you could imagine a stand or a podium of sorts, maybe a table, and the problem is sitting on the table. So now the two people who are having a relationship problem can look at the issue and say, okay, this is how we can attack this as a team. But the way we engage in blame, like they're low-key ad hominem attacks. If you look up ad hominem, it just means instead of attacking an argument a person is making, you attack them, the person. And this happens a lot in relationship. We attack each other. If you weren't so lazy, we wouldn't be in this position. So then what happens? Once the blame shift starts to happen, right? Once you start getting blamed and then you start blaming your partner, you guys start playing the victim, which is one of the most common reactions to blame shifting. You start minimizing people's feelings. Don't start with that crying. I don't even want to see no tears because you know you did wrong. Then you want to start crying and guilt trip. Nah, that ain't going to work. A lot of people do this, right? What about arguing about the argument? Instead of dealing with the issue, we finna argue about the argument. What about guilt tripping and petty, telling pity stories? These are some of the common reactions to blame shifting, right? Let's flip it another way. When you take personal responsibility, you exhibit self-control. You exhibit moral duty, civility. You even, instead of attacking your partner, you begin to audit your expectations. You begin to sit your expectations down and say, you know what, you're kind of limited for where I'm going mentally, for how I'm growing, how I'm evolving. You're kind of limited. So I'm going to have to reduce your access to my mind, to my brain space, right? When you're personally accountable. When you're personally accountable, you start to get in alignment with honesty and not being so fearful, of how people perceive you. You're not, or reactionary to a person's perception of you, right? 1-800-920-1580. I see the phone lines are cracking. When I come forward, I'm going to get my brother from Oakland and my brother from Dallas, Texas in here, and we're going to talk about this blame shifting because people are always sending me these topics, and they want me to cover them. So I'm covering them tonight. Get to your phone line, 1-800-920-1580.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings will disappear. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Our Weekly Los Angeles is the largest audited black newspaper in the state of California with a distribution of Latest news on African American communities of LA. You can also keep up with what's going on in Los Angeles and surrounding cities by going to www.ourweekly.com. The Our Weekly website is updated daily with the current news about us and for us. For your advertising needs, Our Weekly offers economical advertising packages to fit your budget. Feel free to call Our Weekly Los Angeles at 323-905-1300 or visit the website at www.ourweekly.com. Our Weekly Los Angeles, reporting news that matters to you.
Power to the people.
If Black Lives Matter, make black votes count. Vote by November 8th. Long lines, voter roll purges, voter identification laws, voter intimidation, felony disenfranchisement, polling place closures, early voting limitations, partisan redistricting, partisan Supreme Court rulings, invalidation of the Voting Rights Act. Vote on or by November 8th. If Black Lives Matter, make black votes count. Tamir Rice, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Heather Heyer, Emmett Till, Fred Hampton, Werner, Goodman, and Cheney, Viola Louisu, Fannie Lou Hamer, John Lewis. They rest in power. Make their memory and power when you vote on or by November 8th. If you believe Black Lives Matter, then make black votes count.
Paid for by the African American Voter Registration, Education, and Participation Project.
This is Congresswoman Maxine Waters. If you like, you may call me Auntie Maxine. Tuesday, November 8th is Election Day. I'm running for re-election to the 43rd District, and as chairwoman of the Financial Services Committee of the House of Representatives, I'm fighting against inflation, and I will never give up on fighting for affordable housing, for the elimination of homelessness, organized labor, good-paying jobs, education for our children, veterans, Social Security for our seniors, and student loan forgiveness. Well, we must add to that safety and security for our communities and police reform. I will never back down on improving the quality of life for everyone. I will not be stopped, and I will always declare, on behalf of my constituents, I'm reclaiming my time. Don't forget to vote Tuesday. Maxine, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Citizens for Waters.
You know you want some more. More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 5080.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason, along with his co-host, my blue-eyed soul co-host, Michael McDonald, man. Great record. I keep forgetting. You know, people who blame a lot always forgetting too. Narcissists and you know, folk like that, they forget some of the things they say and do. Listen to this very carefully. This is a quote by Robin Sharma. Blaming others is nothing more than excusing yourself. One of the most horrific acts of blame shifting is when somebody in a relationship feels as if you wronged them. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this. They feel like you wronged them because you didn't live up to something or a standard that they placed in front of you. But I argue against that. I say, hold on. I can't wrong you, listen, if you're wronging yourself. What do you mean, Zoe? What do you mean? Listen, if you refuse to deal with the issue within you that needs to be confronted by you, that needs to be healed by your heart, you are actually putting yourself in position to be taken advantage of. Many people say, people treat you the way you treat yourself. How you treat you is how other people will treat you. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. So to blame somebody for mistreating you is like getting mad at God because you didn't win the lottery. I know it's hard to wrap your head around it, but that's what it is. People are not there to heal you. They're there to reveal you so you can heal you. The part about you that you don't like, that you don't want to embrace, that is the spiritual nature of relationship. I am here to reveal so you can heal. Like the sister who called from South Carolina talked about the mirror of relationship. Relationship reveals you. It exposes who you really are. And some of the most arrogant and narcissistic people will say things like, well, I take responsibility for choosing you. I should have chose better because I deserve better. No, you chose what you are. You chose who you are. That's not an admission of responsibility. I should have chose better. No, you should have been more accepting of the mirror reflection, the biofeedback that you got from the partner that reflected your current state of consciousness. Well, I don't be lying. You lie to yourself. That counts. I don't be cheating. You cheat yourself. That's how this person got into your sphere. Right? Let me read that quote again. People who ruin their own life have a strong tendency to blame other people when things go wrong. Well, the core ingredient, the key ingredient for a healthy, loving, respectful relationship is to be healthy yourself, is to be loving to yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? You got to be everything you expect your partner to be. You must first be that for yourself. And I'm not talking about in a narcissistic way. I'm better than you. I'm so great. No, I'm not talking from that space. I'm saying if there's a wound, you are supposed to be its nurse, not your partner. Your partner is not supposed to be the nurse for your wound. You are. And when you tend to self, when you embrace self as you are, without judgment, that wound begins to grow up. That wound begins to heal. Wow. I know this is difficult because a lot of people want their partners to be everything they neglect to be for themselves. You have to be what you're seeking. And when you become what you're seeking, you stop seeking. When you stop seeking, you start attracting. Okay, I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. When you stop looking for it and realize that you are what you sought, it starts to come to you organically. Let's look at that another way. Everything you do is based on choices you make. It's not your parents. It's not your past relationships, your job, the economy, the weather, an argument, or your age that is to blame. You and only you are responsible for every decision and choice you make. Brothers going to blame sisters. I didn't want to have no baby. Yes, you did. If you went up in that thing with no condom on. Well, I don't like the way it feels without the condom. You made a choice. You can't blame her, regardless of whatever. If you understood her mindset, if you had a glimpse of her mindset, if you have a glimpse of her thought process, let's put it on her. No. Let's put it on you. Right? I don't like the way the condom feels, so I'm going to go ahead, and all I got to do is tell her that I don't want a child. That ain't enough. That's not responsible. But then you get mad. Didn't I tell you? You put yourself in that position. You made a choice, and what do you think? Again, thinking like a man. Most men don't understand. When a woman gets pregnant, even if she had a previous idea that, I'm not going to have no baby. But when she gets pregnant, the sense of motherhood or something happens for some women that make them go, wow, I can't get this up. I can't do that. Then men get logical. Well, you promised and you said, but I didn't know how I was going to feel once I got pregnant, brother. 1-800-920-1580. We got callers on the line. They want to get in here. Sean, Oakland, California. Talk to me, man.
Oh, my goodness. Brother Zoe. So, yes, man, like always, you make me think. Zoda, the voice of reason. Here's the thing. I'm old and been married a long time and had all the trials and tribulations. Actually, I probably haven't had all of them, but I've had a bunch of them. And the thing of it is that I've done that. I've done that blame game way back in the day at a very brief time where I was trying to blame, my better half while, we were, I think we were married at that time, or almost married, for something that, I had an agenda. The reason why you blame people, in my opinion, is you have an agenda of how you want to feel. And it's like, don't say that men don't have feelings or emotions. No, men have, they want you to, you have an agenda. So you try to blame, hey, this is your fault that we didn't have this go on right now the way, I wanted it to happen, and that it could, and I'll give you an actual example. It was, we're going on a vacation. It was when we didn't have a lot of money. And I said, okay. And then the flight got canceled, and then it was going to cost an extra, and I'm old, it was like $200 extra. That's a lot of money for anybody, but back in the day, that was a ton of money. And I was like, see, you needed to get that registration done at the time when I could have done that stuff. My agenda was, I was thinking she was going to take care of that without me having to not do anything. And the fact of the matter is that, you can just take that little example and extrapolate that and put it into bigger pictures with a lot of people. Anytime you're trying to do the blame game, right, is because you have an agenda. You have something that you want to protect. And I always do this now, is that if I feel like you have an agenda while you're talking to me, because I don't have an agenda when I'm talking to you, though. I'm just like trying to open myself up because I'm to that point in my life. Mm-hmm. But if I feel like you have an agenda, like you want to get something from me for something, I got you, because I can see that a million miles away. because I already tried that way back in the day. And I'm not perfect. I don't make that mistake anymore. I don't blame people. I blame myself. If I can't take care of my own business, then it's my own fault. It happens to do with my kids, too, because I keep teaching them, hey, when this thing doesn't go right, let's think about this for a second. Was it someone else doing something bad to you, or was it actually a decision you made or I made as a parent that it didn't work out? So that way you can always work out the difficult problems. Otherwise, when you blame other people, it's such a cop-out, in my opinion, and it doesn't strengthen yourself, which I know you do all the time as a person, because I know how strong you are and how you're developing, and I'm trying to do the same thing. But when you try to cop out and blame it on someone else, you're not going to get stronger and develop. Come on, people. We are so good. We can do this. We can take personal responsibility and also help others develop.
I love it, brother. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. You already know how you do. Sean took it to McCovey Cove. We appreciate it. You brought Oakland in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. Zoe is so excited about this topic, got me in here stammering. Let me just say this. Wayne Dyer, man, very powerful brother. Wayne Dyer. In any relationship in which two people become one, the end result is two half people. Why is that so powerful? Two half people. Because typically, people are going to be invested in their perspective. They're going to be invested in the way they see things. And in the average relationship, most people are trying to get their partner to conform in some way, shape, or form to their viewpoint, to how they see the world. It's very difficult for people to say, no, you stay you. You stay you. I like you as you. But when you're broken and you're hurt and you haven't dealt with things, in order to feel comfortable, you try to build realities. And anybody that visits those realities must pledge allegiance, loyalty, must be of the highest level of trust, so that they don't bring any more fear and hurt into your life. And what I'm saying is, when you act that way in the relationship, all you're doing is calling in the experience that you claim to be avoiding. One of the worst things people do is blame a significant other for their inability to act on what, quote unquote, what they think they saw in the relationship. What do I mean? People be saying, oh, I should have known you was like this. I should have acted on what I was paying attention to. I should have known this was that way. The biggest question is, why did your gun jam? Why didn't you do anything about it? If you saw something, why didn't you engage in respectful conversation? If something, welled up within you where you felt like, hey, this might be an issue, why did you swallow it? See, because this is what I consider to be self-harm. And then to turn around and blame them for doing what you let slide, quote unquote. 1-800-920-1580. Call us tonight. The Voice of Reason is on fire. I'm going to Texas when I come back. Let me tell you, man, this is the show. When we come forward, more of the claim game.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Races in 5 states will determine which party will take control of Congress after the midterm elections. In Arizona, Senator Mark Kelly is holding a tight lead over Republican challenger Blake Masters. In Georgia, Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican Herschel Walker are neck and neck. President Biden and former President Obama are urging voters to hit the polls. The duo posted a video on Twitter asking the American people to cast their ballots. Voters will decide important state ballot measures. California, Michigan, Vermont, Kentucky, and Montana have proposals to either limit access to abortion or establish it as a right. Alabama, Louisiana, Vermont, Oregon, and Tennessee have initiatives that would remove language in their constitutions that still allow for some form of slavery. Mike Island from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Call the accident guys. Because unlike other firms, an attorney will negotiate your case, not a paralegal.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers will have a harder time getting a win tonight at Utah. LeBron James is out of the lineup because of soreness in his left foot. The Clippers are at home tonight against Cleveland. The Cavaliers are riding an 8-game winning streak. 3 Pac-12 schools are in the top 10 of this week's AP college football rankings. Number 6, Oregon. Number 8, USC. And number 9, UCLA. Another NFL head coach was kicked to the curb. The Indianapolis coach, struggling with a 3-5-1 record, fired Frank Reich today. His replacement? ESPN analyst Jeff Saturday. Saturday was a 6-time Pro Bowl center with the Colts. Don't be fooled. The coach was thinking about Saturday long before today. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you. When it comes to your settlement, we're slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
If you're the victim of a car accident, call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review.
Call me your MVP.
This is a rather bold pronouncement, but we think we can back it up. If you come across a radio frequency anywhere putting more variety and more diversity on the air than KBLA Talk 1580, we sure would like to hear about your discovery. You got to have vision. You can search. We're confident that you won't find more shows covering more topics, hosted by a more diverse and inclusive lineup of talkers than the squad we have assembled here at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the time, brothers. This is the time.
We've got something for everybody. That's right. Health and healing, history and humor, issues and events, empowerment and entertainment, all in one station. What's really going on?
Free enterprise, you dig?
KBLA Talk 1580. Yeah. Oh yeah. We got a lot to talk about.
King Kong ain't got on me.
I am Raina Carrillo. I will bring fresh ideas, representation, transparency, and accountability. As the new mayor of Inglewood, I believe we the people have the tools, experience, determination, and courage to promote our vision for our community. I, Raina Carrillo, will focus on a better community, advocate for Inglewood School District, public safety, and the houseless. I would like to improve on public services and inclusive economic recovery and support small businesses. Driven by faith, a dedicated wife and mother, and the love of my community. As a mayor candidate, I'm a candidate for the people. Vote for me, Raina Carrillo, for mayor of Inglewood. Invest in the future of Inglewood. Raina Carrillo for mayor, paid by Raina Carrillo for Inglewood Mayor 2022.
Real talk, kids are gonna kid. And sometimes that can look messier, ickier, and stickier than we'd like to admit. We can't always protect our kids from chewing on borrowed pencils, sharing lip gloss, or wild sneezes. But there is one thing we can protect them from, and that's COVID-19. Keep your family safer. Find one near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Haven't voted yet? Save time and avoid the Election Day lines by voting early. Visit plan.lavote.gov to find a vote center in your neighborhood and stop by before Tuesday, November 8th.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Joe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
my life. I've been wondering why. Still somehow I believe we'll always survive. Now I'm not so sure you're waiting here. One good reason to try. But what more can I say? Left to provide. You say that baby it's over. Only if you want it to be. Are you gonna wait for a sign? Your miracle. Stand up and fight. This is it. Make no mistake where you are.
Come on, man.
Don't be a fool anymore.
Kenny Loggins.
The waiting is over.
This is it. I'm going to be honest. I think Kenny Loggins was like a white Michael Jackson. Vocally. Kenny could sing. Couldn't sing as good as Mike, of course. But I'm thinking from an A&R perspective, like he could really sing, and he was a great songwriter. Have you guys heard the song with Kenny Loggins and Michael Jackson together? Have y'all heard that? Pull that up, Andy. And it's on the same album as This Is It. Michael and Kenny Loggins together. And it's a cold record. Now, you could hear Mike in the background, but they're singing together. This is why I say he was like a white Michael Jackson. He just didn't have the staying power. Just, whose fault is it, or who's to blame? That should have been on the playlist. That should have been on the playlist. I think it's called Who's to Blame, or Who's at Fault, or Whose Fault, Who's Right or Wrong. That's what it's called. Who's Right or Wrong. That should have been on the playlist. Boy, I fumbled the ball at the 2-yard line on that one. I should have put that on the playlist, but it's Kenny Loggins and Michael Jackson. Whereas that This Is It record was Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald. Man, Kenny was really, really dope. Man, this is my Blue-Eyed Soul playlist tonight, man. And we on fire tonight. This is a great topic. The claim game. Personal accountability. Right? That's something we should develop in relationships. And I'm saying that you can develop it in relationship if you are an observer, a non-judgmental observer of self, right? Yes, this is it. It's a great record, man.
I've grown tired of fighting, whether you're right or wrong, whether I'm weak or strong in your eyes. This is a lonely feeling, watching you turn away. Why does it have to be this way? On and on, right? Made a point of being right, making this a game instead of
That's Michael.
Someone's heart will surely be broken before too long.
You're going to hear Mike on the bridge.
We keep on playing this game of right or wrong.
The voice of reason is on fire tonight, man. You you guys should really look this record up and really take your time and listen to it, man. It gets really funky, got a lot of breakdowns in it. It's a beautiful record, man, and you hear Mike just take over, man. You hear him just take over. It's a great record. It's Blue-Eyed Soul tonight, though, and we're talking about the claim game. Just thought I'd share that record with you guys, and, you know, I'm a music guy. I'm sorry. But let me just say this. The only way to become self-accountable or self-aware and practice self-accountability, you got to be able to look at yourself without judgment. That's where I was, right? You have to encourage self-empathy. You have to assess your regular behaviors. You have to consider how your actions may adversely affect your partner, right? I'm not an advocate of making changes. I'm an advocate of investing in the WIP process, investing in the work in progress process, because I believe change is superficial, but transformation is permanent. And I think a lot of people change. It's easy to superficially change things. It's easy to swap out this person for another person. It's easy to change. It's hard to transform. And the only way to transform, you need empathy, right? You need empathy, self-empathy. This is how you become accountable. I believe people who blame are fearful. They want to maintain control. They want to have this power imbalance, right? They want to stay in power because ultimately they're fearful. So when you say make changes that will benefit everyone, my thing is more about you have to be focused on transforming. You can change for somebody, but that's not going to be a lasting change, I promise you, because you did it for them. You didn't do it for you. You didn't do it from an authentic space, right? Some people say involve your partner in the accountability, in your self-accountability journey. I am not an advocate of that just yet. I think you have to get comfortable being with the true you, the whole you, before you start bringing other folk into your process. Because how you have an outsider, yes, your significant other is an outsider with regards to your work in progress process, your WIP process. They're an outsider. You bring them in, they may come in and say, you should do this different. This is about me, and this is how I'm working with me. So sometimes, you have to get to a certain point to where they can come in. They've reached a certain level, right? And now they can come in without judgment. But if you bring them in before they've developed, before you've developed, now you've got another point of contention. Truemonger, Dallas, Texas, get in here.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Oh, man, just taking in this topic.
Talk to me, man.
Listen to the conversations people are having. Me, as far as my view on the blame game, I had to learn accountability early. I mean, even though I'm not an only child, I pretty much grew up by myself because my brother was an adult. Well, there's a 10-year gap between me and him, so I was pretty much by myself. So if I did something, I ain't had nobody to blame. I had to take accountability for whatever I did. Learn the same thing through sports. You learn accountability, and that becomes habitual. So placing blame on other people, I'm like, man, that's not even really I'm not really comfortable doing that. So I just tend not to do it. Not on purpose anyway. Or try to avoid anything. If I address something, I address a situation or an issue, and I can do it without necessarily placing blame on somebody, but pointing out that something they may have done factored into what's going on. But sometimes people don't know how to handle that, so they react irrationally or out of emotion. And I always try to do the opposite of that because I know how I can get if I react out of emotion. I'm not thinking clearly. I'm not looking at things in a rational manner. And if I react out of that, it could probably make the situation worse. So I think it takes a level of maturity to be honest with yourself. And it's everything else, it starts with self. You got to look in the mirror and have that conversation with yourself. Do you hold yourself accountable when you do things, or do you try to pass the buck?
Keep going.
And not just in your intimate relationship, but in every kind of relationship you have. Do you hold yourself accountable for the role you play and whatever the situation is, or you try to say it's somebody else's fault? A lot of times people are still stuck in that it's somebody else's fault. It's not me. I didn't do anything to play into what's going on. And that usually means they're lying to themselves or they're in denial.
But everybody...
People have to learn how...
Everybody been to Egypt. Everybody been on the Nile. They deny everything, man. It's unfortunate, but here's the thing. At a certain point in age, like when I was younger, one of my biggest flaws, Truemonger, I thought I could use my intelligence and articulation to be able to make it make sense to people. Right? What I was saying. Like, I felt like as articulate as I am, I should be able to convey exactly what I mean. But what I never understood was, regardless of how well articulated your thought is, people are running it through a filter. They're interpreting based on their experiences, from their perspective. And I didn't understand that until a little later in life. And once I got to that stage where I understood, it's running through a filter and there's nothing I can do about this filter, I stopped explaining. No more explaining. I only talk to open-minded, willing listeners. If you're not open-minded and not willing, then what's the use of talking? Go ahead, True.
Right. I had to learn that myself. I got to a point where, regardless of how I explain something or how I describe myself, they already had an idea in their mind of how they wanted me to be. I'm like, I can't be what you wanted me to be. I'm me, and I'm constantly working on myself. I'm always learning. I have flaws just like anybody else. Right. So, am I always going to say the right thing? No. Am I always going to do the right thing? I do my best to do that, but there's times where that may not happen, and I have to hold myself accountable for it. I'm not going to blame anybody else.
Right.
My actions and my thoughts, that accountability comes back to me. It all falls back on me.
Right.
So I'm not going to say, oh, well, I should have did this instead of doing that. I should have, for example, I saw a sign that I should have left you months ago, but I tried to try to see if you would do better.
Hey, wait, True. True. Save that thought. I want you to restart it. When I come forward, I'm coming back to you. I got to talk to you about what you just laid out. Dallas, Texas is in the building cooking. We on fire tonight, the claim game.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Janet Jackson set to launch worldwide tour. Maisha Cairo here. It's time for your K-Black Minute News. A source reveals that Janet Jackson's latest tour will focus on the reissue of her 97 album, The Velvet Rope, as well as some brand new material. Janet has been working on staging shows after she canceled her Black Diamond shows back in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The sister of the late Michael Jackson has produced 11 albums and sold 100 million records during her 30-year career. Fun fact, in a recent interview, Jackson revealed that the album, Velvet Rope, which includes hits like Together Again and I Get Lonely, was the hardest one for her to record. Funny thing is, it debuted at with 3 singles also topping the charts. Will you see Janet in concert? Let us know on socials at KBLA 1580.
Show them who we are.
KBLA Talk 1580 has not one, but two Black Panther Wakanda Forever weekend giveaways for KBLA Talk 1580 listeners. Friday, November 11th starts your weekend with a private screening of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, dinner for two, and an overnight stay at the W Hotel Hollywood. On Saturday, be our guest to the KBLA Wakanda Forever brunch and pool party. Win a KBLA Wakanda Forever weekend at the W Hotel Hollywood. It's simple to enter. Open the KBLA Talk 1580 app and enter to win. Two winners will be announced Thursday, November 10th. Listen to KBLA Talk 1580 to find out if you will experience the KBLA Talk 1580 Wakanda Forever weekend, starting Friday, November 11th at the W Hotel Hollywood. Black Panther Wakanda Forever private screening, dinner for two, overnight stay at the W Hotel Hollywood, brunch and pool party on Saturday. Download the KBLA Talk 1580 Black Panther Wakanda Forever weekend. Black Panther Wakanda Forever opens November 11th in theaters nationwide, but there's only one way to win the KBLA Talk 1580 Black Panther Wakanda Forever weekend. Open the KBLA Talk 1580 app and enter to win. The KBLA Talk 1580 Black Panther Wakanda Forever weekend is sponsored by Top Shelf Getaways.
Only the most broken people can be repayers.
When you're the victim of a car accident, who goes to bat for you is crucial. We're MVP Accident Attorneys, the personal injury pros. Hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. Our team is in it to win it, and we'll fight to get the maximum compensation you deserve. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for your free consultation. Call 833-MVP-WINS.
Call on me, your MVP.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living and grow businesses and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Spa Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial missions to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is Congresswoman Maxine Waters. If you like, you may call me Auntie Maxine. Tuesday, November 8th is Election Day. I'm running for re-election to the 43rd District, and as chairwoman of the Financial Services Committee of the House of Representatives, I'm fighting against inflation, and I will never give up on fighting for affordable housing, for the elimination of homelessness, organized labor, good-paying jobs, education for our children, veterans, Social Security for our seniors, and student loan forgiveness. Well, we must add communities and police reform. I will never back down on improving the quality of life for everyone. I will not be stopped, and I will always declare, on behalf of my constituents, I'm reclaiming my time. Don't forget to vote Tuesday, November 8th. This is Auntie Maxine, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Citizens for Water.
The Institute for Diversity Certification is all about the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. Learn more about our globally recognized diversity certification program today by calling 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. Or visit diversitycertification.org. As the #1 organization for certified diversity professionals and also certified diversity executive credentials, diversitycertification.org will provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate dedication to the field, determination to make progress, and more discipline to your process. Go today and learn more about the diversity certification system. Call 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. Or go to diversitycertification.org. That's diversity, the standard of excellence, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
band. Pick up the pieces. Blue-Eyed Soul Night, the voice of reason, live on KBLA Talk 1580. Tonight's topic has been crazy. Phone lines have been cracking. The claim game over the blame game. Claim leads to accountability. Here we go. Truemonger from Dallas, Texas. Finish your thought. You got to turn your living room down. You got to turn that living room down, Truemonger.
Good?
Yes, we can hear you now, brother.
All right. I was saying that people might wait until they say something and then they want to kind of end things or instead of saying like, oh, I saw this a while ago, I should have did something then. I'm like, why didn't you ever bring it up? Instead of holding over whatever the issue was over my head and decide to bring it out now when you're getting all emotional about it, you could have discussed it then. But I've had that situation happen a couple of times, and I'm like, that probably could have been resolved if you just brought it up. If you made me aware there was an issue, but you wanted to hold something over my head so you didn't have any escape.
Leverage.
Have some leverage. Pull your cord so you can leave at your leisure or whatever. But I'm like, all right, because I'm to the point where I don't go through all that. If we can't really have civil discussion about stuff, then if things don't work out, things don't work out. I'm going to be at peace with myself and keep working on myself.
Yep. I love it, brother. Thank you so much for the insight. We appreciate it. We've only got 2 minutes left, but Kathy from Los Angeles just popped in. Kathy, you got to keep it brief. We got. Just tell me what it is that's on your mind.
Okay, I'm going to keep it brief. As far as the blame game goes or bringing up and keeping something over your head, issues that are solved is like a red book. If you think, oh, it's okay, you put it on the shelf. Next thing you know, you have a big full bookshelf. And you can't pull a book. You know, if you read a book, you're not wanting for it for no one. So my whole thing, the blame game is not being honest. And if you told the truth, and they still don't accept it, and you're having problems, you can't save someone who don't want to hear the truth.
Wow. Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate the insight. Lord have mercy. We got some great people listening to the show. They're insightful. They're intelligent. They contribute to the conversation. It's on fire. But listen, we just start the conversation. It's your job to finish it. We're not writeaholics over here. What I want to do now is inform you that my brother Danny Morrison and, of course, Robin Ayers are on their way into the building. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow's topic is going to be even crazier. Don't miss the VOR, Voice of Reason, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on KBLA.